Oh yeah, guess who's back once again? We're doing some more ranking Bluey Minisodes. The next 7 Minisodes have come out. By the time I'm making this, they're out in Australia. By the time that this is coming out, it should be coming out the day that they come out in America on the 7th. So I've seen them all because I got a VPN. So we're going to talk about all of them and rank them. So we've got some good ones in this list. We've got Tattoo Shop, Phony, Blocks, Government, Drums, Brownie Bear, and Whirlpool. So I added 7 new placings, and we need to do a little bit of rearranging here. Before we begin, Three Pigs is still the worst, followed by Animals right there. So yeah, we can confidently put that there. And probably Bingo 3000 right here still. Actually, we're going to put this one right here. So let's get into the Minisodes. So we start off with Tattoo Shop. We start off with Tattoo Shop. So Tattoo Shop is an easily explainable one. It's not the most eventful, but I still really did like it. So the episode is about Bandit wanting to get a tattoo from a tattoo shop that Bluey and Bingo are running. And yeah, if I can actually read the description from ABC iView. The description from the website says specifically, Dad once visits the tattoo shop where the kids give him some ink. Dad wants skulls and snakes, etc. Because he has to look really tough. When it comes time to reveal, it's not quite what Dad had envisioned. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. The tattoo that they give him in this episode, in this minisode, is like really detailed. You should watch all of these if you haven't watched them yet, and then come back and watch this and see how I rank them. But yeah, the tattoo that they give him is just so like detailed that it surprised me when I saw it. I thought it was going to be one of the 8 little templates that they have hanging up on the wall in the back, but it was like a really detailed and really impressive tattoo. Honestly, even though it wasn't tough and cool, I would have really liked it. So, as of where this episode I would rank it, I think, honestly, I'm trying to figure out where I'd want to rank it. It would probably be like in the middle of the list if I had to say. So I think we're going to rank them all at the end. I'm going to talk about them first, and then we're going to rank them all how I see it. But yeah, let's move on to episode 2 on the list, or I guess Minisode episode 9, which is Phony. So I was obviously very excited for this one because Unicourse, if you remember when I made my male character ranking, or like just adults ranking, I don't know, I ranked a whole bunch of Bluey characters. Unicourse was like number 3 or 4 in my top favorite characters. So when I saw that this episode was going to have the return of Unicourse, I was excited and I wanted to see it. And luckily, he does make his return, and he's hilarious in this episode. So, the description says, after a big day, Everyone wants to sit back and listen to some relaxing music except Unicourse, who keeps getting Phony to change the tune. Phony is basically their substitute for Siri or Hey Google or whatever other substitutes those are. I don't know other things. Later in another minisode, they mention a band by name, but I guess with brands and stuff, they can't really mention those by name and have to make up their own. I don't know. They mention a full band, like I said, by name in a later minisode, which we'll talk about that. But yeah, Unicourse was hilarious in this episode. I think it was weaker though. It was probably one of the weaker of this batch. This batch, I loved all of them, except for maybe one of them was kind of on the weaker side. But none of them were really as bad as Three Pigs or Animals, which I think are still the weakest minisodes we've got so far. But yeah, this one was really good. This one I liked it. Not as much as I wanted to because it had Unicourse in it. But hey, you know what? It can't be perfect, right? Can't all have what we want. I'm just sad that they didn't have a flashback in Letter, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. So next up, we have a minisode that I was not expecting to really enjoy too much. I mean, obviously, I wanted to see all of them. This one was kind of just I thought was going to be one of the weaker ones, but honestly, it's probably one of the top tier ones of the batch, in my opinion, to come out of these. But we have Blocks, the third one, episode 10, if you must. The description of this episode is Bluey and Bingo have built an enormous tower of blocks and ask if Nana can keep the tower up until they come back. Nana and Bob try to live in their smallest unit without knocking it over. So yeah, I guess Bluey and Bingo go over to their grandparents' house on Sunday, and they ask if Nana can keep it up until next Sunday when they come back. And Nana, being the loving grandma and the nice grandma she is, tells them, yeah, leave it up. I'll leave it up. It's fine. She comes to regret that. So this episode follows a day-by-day look about how Nana and Bob are trying to deal with the fact that their entire house basically is taken over by this giant block structure. And it had the return of Grandpa Bob, a character I love. I love his character. He's not seen much, and I love him. I think he's still voiced by the same guy that voiced him in The Sign. That's probably now his official voice actor. He had someone different back in Grandparents or Grannies, but I think as of Fairy Tale, he changed voice actors, and that's been the one that they've used for him since. But yeah, there was also, because I'm doing this so close to whenever the episodes come out, I don't have good enough pictures to show, but they did have a view of the fridge, and we get to see a couple of pictures on the fridge. There's one where you can see Grandpa Bob meditating, which is definitely probably a picture that he got taken in India when he was on his trip to, what was he doing? Find himself, I think. So we got to see that image, and then we got to see Rad and Frisky from the Christmas Swim episode, and then another image that I couldn't make out on my computer when I was rewatching these before this. So if you can make it out, I think it's they show it on Tuesday, the segment on Tuesday whenever in the episode. But yeah, near the end of the episode, Grandpa Bob just knocks down the blocks, and they spend a whole day trying to put the block tower back together, and then afterwards, Nana just completely marks off the living room, and they're just she's just we're not going in there until Sunday. I am not having to do this all over again. And then Bluey and Bingo show up on Sunday, and immediately they knock the block tower down. And it's just, I knew it was coming. I knew once they did that, once they had to rebuild the tower again, I knew Bluey and Bingo were going to immediately knock it down, but it was still funny. This was definitely one that I was not expecting to enjoy that much, but it's one of the longer ones that we have, and I really loved it. It was a good one. We have episode 4, or number 11, which is the weakest one of this batch, in my opinion. Government. Which is legitimately just Bingo 3000, but a different game. That is literally exactly what this minisode is. Dad is using Bingo's back as a typewriter to type a letter to the government demanding they do something about his errant children. So I guess like the episode starts with like Bingo coming in, telling her dad to play a game where like she's acting up and she won't listen to what he says, so he types a letter to the government telling them to deal with his children. Which I don't understand why that would... You would think to ask the government about that. But he writes a letter to the government. They send a letter. They send a letter back, and they just tell him that it's not their job to deal with your children. And then he sends a letter that he's like, my taxes pay for you, so you better deal with my children. And if you don't, I'm not going to vote for you. And then they get a letter back, and they're like, well, you know what? You sound kind of like a pain in the butt. Anyway, we kind of don't want your vote, so he gets angry. It was kind of funny. It's much better than what Bingo 3000 was, but still on the weaker side of this batch, the weakest one of this batch, but I still kind of enjoyed it. So episode 5, or number 12, I guess, is Drums, the one that has kind of been the cover image for this batch of episodes. The description is Bingo is in the music shop with Mom when she discovers an electronic drum kit and some headphones. That's basically the entire episode. Chili brings Bingo and Bluey there because she wants to get Bingo into violin, and she throughout the clip, she's asking the store manager, like, what's the best violin to get into? Is it expensive? Yada, yada, yada. Asking him all these questions. Meanwhile, Bingo's just on the drums, just jamming out on the drums with their headphones in, not a care in the world, just playing the drums. And honestly, she's really good at playing the drums. She should play the drums, not the violin. I think she'd be better at the drums, not the violin. Plus, hey, the voice actor for Bandit is in a band. I think that's kind of why they did that, honestly. But whatever. I don't know. This episode was definitely something that we didn't get, because the little image that they have, the promo image here, this unfortunately does not show up in the episode. It was just a promo image. But hey, you know what? I wasn't that's fine. You can honestly deal with it. It's perfectly fine. Whatever. This was still an okay one. Probably still on the weaker half of this list, but I still liked it. It was a pretty good one. And now we have my favorite of the new batch. The one I was not expecting to be my favorite. I was expecting Phony to be my favorite, but this one takes the cake, in my opinion. Brownie Bear. I was trying to figure out the name of it. The 6th one. So this episode, the description is, someone keeps tapping people on the shoulder and vanishing. It's very annoying. Mom enlists private investigator Brownie Bear to investigate. So, yeah. Throughout the episode, Bandit is tapping on everyone's shoulders and then acting like he's not doing it. And eventually, they go to the brown bear puppet from literally that one scene. in Unicourse, where the brown bear puppet shows up. Now he has his own short dedicated to him, which is just crazy. Can't wait for him to show up on the Bluey characters list now. They're gonna do that. I feel like they're going to. But yeah, the whole episode also has like this dark atmosphere around it, like it's a mystery episode, like a murder mystery episode of sorts. Like everything's got this dark aura surrounding it, this dark atmosphere with like light shining in from an unknown source. It's really visually a good episode. Honestly, I really liked this one visually and the whole episode. I think it's the longest minisode we have so far at like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a really good one. And fun fact, we learn a lot about Bandit in this episode from one specific picture. I don't have a good image of it, but I will try to pull it up here, the best image that I have. So yeah, in this episode, we get Bandit's license, his driver's license, and it reveals so much about Bandit in this one little picture that I took. So, first off, we learn that his middle name is Custard, which is a reference to the band that his voice actor, Dave McCormack, is in. He's got a band named Custard that he plays in, and yeah, that's a reference, obviously, to the band. Having it as Bandit's middle name. I think that's 3 characters now with confirmed middle names. Because we had Bluey Christine Healer, Muffin Cupcake Healer, and now Bandit Custard Healer. So yeah, we have Bandit's middle name. We also have his official birth date, which his birthday is October 25th, 1978. And I did calculations. That would mean as of this episode's air date, he would be 45, about to turn 46. So, yeah, he's 45 years old. I think that's like around what people assume his age is. So I guess that makes sense. Bluey's what, 7, so he would have had Bluey around like 38, which I guess works. So, yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to show that off because it's really interesting that we finally get like an actual confirmed character's birthday, and it's the best character of the entire show. And then look at his poor driver's license photo. He looks so like nervous in the photo, and I don't know why, but I love it. He looks just so nervous, and I have no idea why, but yeah. We also learned that his expire date is going to be coming up soon. Unless I don't remember. Wait, would it be, because it's 6/10/25, would it be October 6th, 2025? Or would it be June 10th? I never remember the date and number of things. Because, like, the other side of the world does it differently than the United States does, so I can never remember. But yeah, that alone, like, makes this one my favorite. But, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff to like about this episode, too, and I just love it. So the final one of the batch that we have is Whirlpool. And the description basically is just that the kids make a whirlpool in their kiddie pool in the backyard and then float around on top of it. And this episode has some amazing visuals, too, of, like, the kids in the pool, running around the pool, swimming in the pool, floating on top of the pool. This episode just randomly throws Chucky in here for no reason. Chucky just, like, pops over the fence and is just like, oh, my friends, they are making a whirlpool in their pool in their backyard. I'm just going to come over without any warning and just play. And he just shows up, just unaccounted for, shows up, and I'm perfectly fine with it because it's another character, because it's Chucky, and I'm fine with Chucky. Chucky's adorable. But it's just really, really weird how he just shows up. I don't know. But this episode has some good visuals too. But I'd put it like in the middle, I'd say, sort of. But it was really, really a fine episode. And so now we have the task of ranking all of these episodes once again. I am going to move these out of the way because I don't know where I want to put these now. So we're going to move them out of the way. And because I've also watched the original 7 too again before these ones, so I might actually have a different ranking of them. For example, I think Animals is worse than 3 Pigs now. That one just sucks. I'm sorry. But yeah, let's rank the ones that we did as well as the other ones. So we're going to start with these ones. We're going to start with number 11 because these 3 are exactly staying the same. Number 11 is probably Government. It's the worst of the batch that we got today. It's not bad. It's just the weaker one on the list of these today. There are better ones. That's all I can really say about it. It's not bad. It's just not high tier, in my opinion. Next up, I'd probably say it's like a toss-up between Tattoo Shop, Whirlpool, Phony, and Hungry. One of these 4, I think, are like the next 4 I want to put in here. And I'd say probably Tattoo Shop is probably the weakest of them at number 10. It is kind of a weaker episode. It's probably... I mean, it's not much visuals. It's just like one static scene. I mean, a lot of the minisodes have been that, but I'm not just going to throw off points just because of that. It was kind of just like talking and that's it. I do like the visual of the tattoo, though. It was really good. I did think it was a nice tattoo, but it was still just kind of weak. Next up, I'd kind of say Hungry, maybe. Like, watching that one again, it one's kind of just like a confusing one, in my opinion. It's not the most crazy thing. It's just a bit confusing to watch back, in my opinion. And so, I don't care too much for it that much. It's not bad. It's just about, like, in the middle-ish of the road. Speaking of which, I feel really upset to have to put Phony... I feel really upset. We're going to put Whirlpool at number 8. I liked the visuals in this episode, but Chucky just randomly showing up in this episode feels really just random. And also, it was just the kids playing in the pool. There's nothing really fun about that. There's nothing really too exciting about that. Yeah. That's really just all I gotta say about that one. And I feel really disappointed having to put Phony at number 7 because I expected to like this one a lot with Unicorse being in it. And it was kind of just right in the middle of this batch. And I'm really upset about that. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to knock off points of it. So I'd say next is probably Drums. I know, so many of the new ones right in a row, even though I said they were good. They are. I mean, literally none of them are as bad as these 3. Except, I mean, Government is kind of just the same thing as Bingo 3000. But yeah, Drums, I'd say, is definitely up there in the top half of the episodes so far. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy Bingo playing on the drums and all the music that she made. But that's all I can really say about it. That's all I can say about it. Heading into the top 5, I would probably... Watching these back, I would probably put Burger Dog at number 5. Because, I mean, that song is still stuck in my head. That's like the one thing I can remember from this episode is the song. It's the one thing I take from this episode is that song, and it's still stuck in my head, but it's not the most exciting thing outside of that song. Still stuck in my head, though. The song's never gonna leave. And number 4, we have Muffin Unboxing. One of the only 2 minisodes to not technically still be in Australia yet. I don't know why Muffin Unboxing and Three Pigs still haven't aired in Australia. They're not even on, like, the Bluey Minisodes list. They could have just shadow dropped them as well as they did with... Because they just dropped the 7 episodes onto the playlist instead of airing them as part of the live stream that they have. Like, they just dropped them and just like, there you go. Here they are. They could have just also stuck in Muffin Unboxing and Three Pigs, but they didn't for some reason. And I don't know why. The only way Australians have of watching the episode... There's no way to watch Three Pigs if you're Australia, but they just recently, today, they uploaded Muffin Unboxing onto the Bluey YouTube channel, so you can see that one. Wherever you are in the world, you don't even need Disney Plus to watch it. It is a good one, but yeah, number 4. Number 3 is Letter. I still very much love the language that is throughout the episode, the broken English, the terrible, terrible writing that Bandit has, the terrible spelling, just everything about that. It still makes me laugh whenever I watched it. And just the fact that Nana is just trying to read it really badly is just hilarious in my opinion. I really liked this. I really liked that one. I was expecting to, and I really did. It's still my favorite of the original 7, but it's only 3rd place. And 2nd place is one I was not expecting to be 2nd place out of all 14 so far. Blocks is really good. I recommend watching that one. And then obviously the 1st place of these batch of 7. Blocks is really a fun one. Like I said, I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. And it was really fun to see Grandpa Bob and Nana back for another episode, hanging out, just having a day-to-day life in their apartment building, while also trying to avoid the block sculpture that Bluey and Bingo made. And then their efforts of rebuilding it are literally all for naught. They failed. They failed miserably. And obviously, another one I was not expecting to like as much, but somehow became my favorite for the mood of the episode, the whole mystery element behind the episode, the lighting, the characters, everything makes Brownie Bear so far my favorite of the Bluey Minisodes, all 14 that have come out. This one's my favorite. I adore this one so much. I can't believe that they actually gave us Bandit's canonical age in this episode, as well as his middle name, and then the fact that they even bring back the brown bear from Unicorse that just shows up as Unicorse's lawyer. That one's also just crazy to me, how they just focus the whole thing on him. This one's so good, and I don't know. It's so good. I really loved this one. I recommend watching this one. It's so good. So good. But that is my ranking of the 14 minisodes that we have so far. Animals, Three Pigs, Bingo 3000, Government, Tattoo Shop, Hungry, Whirlpool, Phony, Drums, Burger Dog, Muffin Unboxing, Letter, Blocks, and that's number 1, Brownie Bear. Probably, I don't know the other 8 that'll be coming out later this year, but this one's still gonna be my favorite for a while now. But that's it for this ranking. We will do one last part, obviously, whenever the episodes come out. We're going to be doing one more part whenever the rest of them come out later this year. There's 8 more to come out in the final batch, so we're going to have more to go over next time, as well as we're going to give our definitive final list of ranking all the 20 minisodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.